Throughout a coaching career that has spanned continents, cultures, and some of the biggest stages in world sport, Eddie Jones has experienced the full spectrum of rugby's emotional extremes. He has orchestrated historic victories, overseen stunning upsets, rebuilt struggling teams, and endured painful defeats played out under the brightest lights imaginable. From heartbreak in a home Rugby World Cup final to masterminding one of the greatest shocks in tournament history, Jones' story is woven into the modern fabric of the game. Yet when asked to reflect on everything he has lived through, the 66-year-old insists he has just one true regret. And it is not the moment many would expect that a career defined by high-stakes Jones has never been a coach who seeks comfort. His professional journey has taken him from Australia to Japan, from England back to Australia, with advisory and assistant roles in between. He has built a reputation as a demanding tactician, a master strategist capable of peaking teams for major tournaments, but also as a risk-taker unafraid to make bold calls. The first of his most public heartbreaks came in 2003. As head coach of the Australian national rugby union team, Jones led his side all the way to the Rugby World Cup final on home soil. The tournament culminated in a dramatic showdown against England national rugby union team, decided by a last-gasp drop goal from Jonny Wilkinson in extra time. That moment remains one of the most replayed clips in rugby history, a snapshot of elation for England and devastation for Australia. For Jones, it was a bitter lesson in how fine the margins are at the summit of international sport. But it was far from the last time he would stand on rugby's biggest stage. The mastermind of Brighton fast forward to 2015, and Jones was at the helm of Japan national rugby union team. Few expected Japan to do anything other than compete bravely at the 2015 Rugby World Cup. Instead, Jones engineered one of the most astonishing upsets in sporting history. Japan defeated the mighty South African national rugby union team in Brighton, stunning the rugby world and instantly transforming perceptions of Tier 2 nations. It was tactical bravery blended with meticulous preparation, a hallmark of Jones' coaching identity. Yet even that historic victory came with frustration. Despite beating South Africa, Japan failed to reach the knockout stages due to the tournament's points system and pool dynamics. It was another reminder that success in rugby is rarely linear. The England revival and 2019 final in 2016, Jones took charge of England and immediately sparked a resurgence. He led the team to a Six Nations Grand Slam in his first season and restored belief to a squad that had been humiliated on home soil at the 2015 World Cup. 4 years later, he guided England to the final of the 2019 Rugby World Cup. Along the way, his side produced one of the finest performances in English rugby history, dismantling the defending champions, the New Zealand national rugby union team, in a semi-final masterclass. That victory was widely hailed as a tactical triumph. England were precise, aggressive, and emotionally charged. They suffocated New Zealand's rhythm and dominated physically, a feat few teams have managed on the World Cup stage. But in the final, England came unstuck against a powerful South African side coached by Rassie Erasmus. The Springboks controlled territory, won the physical exchanges, and secured a 32-12 victory. For many coaches, losing a World Cup final, especially after defeating the All Blacks a week earlier, will be the defining regret of their career. Yet for Jones, while the defeat still stings, it is not the moment he dwells on most. The subtle message that missed the mark. Reflecting on the 2019 final, Jones has admitted that he may have misjudged the psychological messaging in the build-up. Throughout the tournament, he had rotated his squad cleverly, making subtle changes to keep players fresh and competition alive. He alternated starters in key positions, for instance, sometimes opting for Joe Marler, other times selecting Mako Vunipola, depending on tactical demands. That rotation had worked brilliantly. It maintained intensity and ensured players felt they were constantly being challenged. But ahead of the final, Jones resisted making changes. In hindsight, he believes he might have missed an opportunity to reinforce the message that improvement was still required, even after the monumental semifinal win. Elite sport is often shaped by nuance. A small tweak in selection can send a powerful signal to a squad. Jones now wonders whether maintaining the same lineup subtly allowed a sense of satisfaction to creep in, something the best teams ruthlessly avoid. He has spoken about how champion sides celebrate briefly and then immediately reset. The All Blacks, in particular, have built a culture of relentless refocusing. Jones questions whether he fully reignited that urgency within England after the emotional high of beating New Zealand. Still, even that reflection does not top his list of regrets. The 2023 gamble to regret that lingers most strongly concerns his return to Australia ahead of the 2023 Rugby World Cup. After parting ways with England, Jones was reappointed as Wallabies head coach, replacing Dave Rennie. The decision by Rugby Australia was controversial. Jones had originally been contracted with a longer-term view toward the 2027 World Cup, set to be hosted in Australia. Yet circumstances accelerated his return, and he found himself tasked with reshaping a national side just months before the 2023 tournament in France, to be Y's own admission. The timeline was brutally short. Preparation was limited. Training camps were squeezed into narrow windows. At one point, the squad reportedly had only a handful of training days in Australia before flying to South Africa. For a coach who believes strongly in installing fresh tactical frameworks when taking over a team, the lack of time was a critical constraint. Jones attempted to implement a new style of play quickly, perhaps too quickly. When a coaching change occurs, players often expect a shift in identity. Jones tried to deliver that transformation at speed. In hindsight, he believes he may have overreached. Australia's campaign unraveled in the pool stages, marking the first time the Wallabies failed to progress beyond that phase of a Rugby World Cup. The disappointment was immense. Soon after the tournament, Jones and Rugby Australia parted ways. "I should have been more moderate." Jones does not regret accepting the challenge. He remains proud of having a go, as he puts it. But he acknowledges that moderation might have served him better. Trying to accelerate systemic change in the crucible of a World Cup year was an enormous gamble. Without the runway to gradually embed systems and culture, the risk of instability increases. Jones recognizes now that tempering his ambitions, refining rather than overhauling, may have yielded steadier progress. It is a rare admission from a coach known for his conviction. Yet it also reflects his enduring commitment to growth. Even after decades in the game, Jones continues to evaluate his decisions critically. A career of resilience. What makes Jones' single regret so striking is the scale of adversity he has navigated elsewhere without lingering bitterness. He has lost World Cup finals. He has seen historic wins overshadowed by structural realities. He has endured media storms and high-profile dismissals. Through it all, he has remained one of rugby's most in-demand thinkers. His coaching philosophy blends meticulous analysis with psychological intensity. He challenges players relentlessly, often pushing them beyond perceived limits. That approach has yielded extraordinary peaks, but has also required delicate management. The 2023 experience appears to have reinforced a lesson about balance. Transformation is powerful, but timing is everything. The fine margins of legacy in sport. Legacy is often judged by trophies. Yet Jones' career cannot be reduced to medals alone. He has influenced playing styles, expanded tactical thinking, and contributed to the globalization of rugby. His work with Japan reshaped perceptions of emerging nations. His tenure with England restored competitiveness. His early years with Australia placed him within a golden generation. Regret, for Jones, is not about lost finals or missed kicks. It is about process, about whether he optimized the circumstances within his control. Still driven at 66, Jones remains deeply engaged with the game. His appetite for learning and reinvention persists. If anything, his reflections suggest a coach who continues to evolve. The regret surrounding Australia in 2023 is not framed as failure, but as a lesson in restraint. It highlights the importance of aligning ambition with preparation time. It underscores how World Cup cycles demand strategic patience.